you just let them hit at the top of the order and the middle of the order.
Good frame attempt from Modi behind the plate, but nothing doing. So Kike staring at 3-0.
Ideas on a big inning for the MLB All-Stars.
He takes strike one. Whit Merrifield on deck for the MLB All-Stars before it goes back to the top of the order, and JT Realmuto. Saw Kike Hernandez at the play ball event in the Tokyo Dome. Ball 4. So again, 69 pitches for Tawada. Nice. Here are the pitcher use limitations for the Japan All-Star Series. 80 per game. And if Tawada were to approach that number in the middle of an AB, he would be allowed to finish. 30 to 49 pitches. You got to rest today. 50 plus. You're sitting for 4 days. Here, some Tennessee whiskey in Tokyo there for Whit Merrifield and his walk-up song. Cody Wade, 23, checking in for Dodger Town as there's action in the Samurai Japan pen. Says the boys are alive today. Say hello to Joe for me, that being my partner here, Joe McGrain. And Cody also predicting that Kike would go deep at some point in this game. Said it's a walk as Merrifield shows bunt.
Yeah, you were talking about Whit Merrifield's walk-up music. That's why they call it country music, because it's good in any country you play it. I'll show myself out quietly now.
Merrifield lays it down, and that is textbook, because not only does it move the runners, the throw gets away, so a run's going to score.
Well, some of the real good things that Whit Merrifield can do for the All-Stars at the bottom part of the order, just a perfectly executed bunt, and when you have a pitcher throwing from that situation, you really wouldn't expect a very accurate throw. So Merrifield can get into scoring position, and you know, you don't see a lot of sacrifice bunting, you don't see a lot of bunts. That was more a bunt for a base hit, but that really moves things up and it really picks up the tempo, and MLB looking alive right now.
Second and third, nobody out for JT Realmuto, who took Tawada deep in the 4th inning. You won't do it again, JT. Slices it to first base. Okamoto does well to look the runners back to second and third. The 22-year-old. A nice play.
Wasn't hit particularly hard. Just kind of a little slicer off the trademark, but the turf's very fast here and a good short hop scoop. Had to freeze, but you freeze on the line drive in that situation, and it didn't look like it was originally going to be one that would hit the ground, but it did. So that's good base running to stay both of the runners where they were.
Tawada not out of the woods yet, not by a long shot, not with the way Yadi Molina has been swinging the bat. 2 for 2 today. 6 for 8 in the series. Are those numbers good, Joe McGrain?
I'll take him. going so good. The last time he got a hit, it hit the rosin bag. It was a for sure broken bat out.
Yeah, you're right. Things are going your way.
Hit the rosin bag and was redirected. And he was on first base. Seen the ball hit the mound or hit the pitching rubber, but not the rosin bag behind the mound. It was hit that softly.
Tawada to Yadi. Gets wood on it. Shoots it the other way. Did you? Yadi Molina with a 3-run homer in the 5th.
Boy, have a series. Talk about a bat that is in fuego. Hit it soft or hit it hard right down the right field line. And just curling right inside the foul pole into the first row. You got to keep it off the roof. That's the key.
Look at Acuna celebrating. So Yadi Molina now 7 for 9 in the Japan All-Star Series. A pitching change for Samurai Japan after the Mlb All-Stars have opened up a 4-run lead.
Tire.
Follow your favorite Major League Baseball teams and stars with the MLB At-Bat app. You got to stay connected with breaking news, stats, expert analysis, and plenty more. So download the MLB At-Bat app today. You know how much it costs you, Joe McGrain?
How much?
$3. $3, just in case that wasn't clear.
That's awesome.
Somebody's like, $3. So new pitcher for Samurai Japan, left-hander Yuta Iwasada.
Two different types of fastballs. And likes to mix up the velocity, change speeds on the fastball, which you tend not to see these days over in the States.
Carlos Santana struck out in the first inning, part of a strike him out, throw him out, inning-ending double play. And for a while, Shinsabudo Tawada, the starting pitcher, was cruising. It faced the minimum through 3. And then in the fourth, got a little shaky. Home run to Realmuto. And Santana's aboard here now in the fifth. And then MLB All-Stars touched him up again with Yadi Molina's 3-run blast to right field. So we were talking about how Tawada had only surrendered 12 homers in 172 2/3 innings during the season. The MLB All-Stars get him for 2.
You know, we were talking in the first 2 games about how well the Japanese All-Stars were hitting the ball the other way, especially with 2 strikes. That's been the case for the MLB All-Stars, except they've been hitting it the other way with authority out of the ballpark. That one firmly hit down the line. A lot of good hitters for the MLB All-Stars with an outstanding plan.
See what Acuna can do here. Waves that in between.
That's not the emergency swing. That is the, oh no. Might as well just keep it going.
The old Bubba no swing from Ronald Acuna. Here's Tomoya Mori, the catcher, and the Braves stud. Acuna, don't want to forget about that AB for sure. He's sent down swinging, and that'll bring up Juan Soto.
Slider expanding. Really kind of surprised to see Acuna offering it that. That ball bounced before the plate. So that was really over aggressive.
Santana now up. In scoring position for the Nats outfielder. Got another tweet from Rich Hilday. Hey, Stephen Nelson, I bet Juan Soto wishes they could pause, raise the roof of the Tokyo Dome.
I see what he's doing with that.
Well done, Rich Hilday. Thanks for the tweet. And listen, the MLB All-Stars, it was a tough break for him. And Samurai Japan came back to tie the game, but behind Yadi Molina, who has been one of those guys that we didn't question his effort, his performance in the first couple of games of this series. He has spearheaded this charge that's bounced back for MLB in Game 3.
Oh, he certainly has. Not only at the plate, but I think that back pick over to first base in typical Yachty fashion really helped light a fire under these guys.
That was a big swing from Soto. He's hit the roof twice. He maybe wants to do it a third time.
Kind of got away with that breaking ball, and Soto was selling out, trying to go bridge.
Iwasada on the same page now. They set up a way on Soto, who again is 2 opposite field homers in this series already. But I mean, he's just one of those guys where inside, outside, down the middle, he can get you anywhere.
And really, that all stems from his ability to control the strike zone. If you're not swinging at pitches outside the strike zone, getting good pitches to hit, better chances to barrel the ball up. And whether it was scouts or the Nats, the thing that impressed them so much about him in his development, and he just rocketed right through the minor leagues for the Washington Nationals, was his ability to get good pitches to hit and control the strike zone, because that normally in a hitter is the last thing to develop. You see, he's just got that little cool way of eyeballing pitches there. Pete Rose, the way that he would nod his head when he would take a pitch and watch it all the way into the glove, and Soto's got that kind of thing. All right, I see what you're doing there, and just having a great feel and awareness of where the strike zone is. Not going to go outside and help the pitcher out.
I think Soto's locked in here based on how he took that last one. the payoff. Down and away, so a walk here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
It was an example of controlling the strikes on the point I was making. There were a couple of pitches that he could have offered at. And the way the MLB All-Stars are swinging the bat, it gives someone else a chance. Set the table.
Eugenio Suarez is certainly due.
He drove in a lot of runs for the Reds this year.
An outstanding all-star campaign for the Cincinnati third baseman. Reds going to play under a new manager in 2019. Suarez had his counterpart, but foul. Santana and Soto both running anyway, just in case.
That's the third base umpire's call when it goes by the bag.
It's Quinn Wolcott, major league umpire.
Clearly foul. Very good call. And he was on it early.
Iwasada's 1-1. Waved that by Suarez.
That fastball kind of came out of nowhere. It blew that ball by Suarez. Kind of in that midpoint between the letters and the belt. He was tardy.
Suarez, the 9th batter in this 5th inning for the MLB All-Stars, has a chance to add to the lead. Can't do it. Iwasada gets out of the 5th, but Yadi Molina shoots one over the wall in right field, and the MLB All-Stars are back on top. Japan All-Star Series here on MLB Network. So after 3 innings of donuts in Game 3 of the Japan All-Star Series, now we're getting some offense. 1 for each side in the 4th. And we All-Stars take the lead with a 4-spot in the top half of the 5th. Kazuma Okamoto, the first batter in the bottom half, as Scott Barlow has pitched a good baseball game.
Yeah, and I give him a lot of credit. You know, he's had a good breaking ball, and there are more parts to pitching a very good game, and it's about controlling momentum.
Okamoto sends Merrifield back to the warning track for a long first out. Here's the upcoming schedule of this Japan All-Star Series. Off day on Monday. Series resumes in Hiroshima on Tuesday, 4:30 a.m. Eastern start time at the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium. The best name ever. Then games 5 and game 6.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that.
Wednesday and Thursday. Nagoya Dome. Zoom Zoom. A 6-game series, yes. And we All-Stars will have played 7 by the time the trip is done. As that one sent back up the middle by Kikuchi. But the first game was an exhibition against the Yomiuri Giants, a.k.a. the Yankees of Nippon professional baseball. So technically this 6-game set can end in a tie. But right now it is 2-0 Samurai Japan in the series. Here comes Don Mattingly, the manager for the MLB All-Stars, and that's going to do it for Scott Barlow. Pitching change coming here on MLB Network.
Pretty good on that one.
Well, not surprising when the MLB All-Stars needed to get things going, and then infield single by Yadi Molina, the ball hitting the rosin bag, a back pick with 2 runners on to get a big out in that situation, and then a big bomb, a 3-run home run. The captain, the manager, the catcher, the 9-time Gold Glover, one of the greatest catchers of all time, getting the MLB All-Stars back in it.
Back on top 5-1. Vidal Nuno, the first arm out of the bullpen for the MLB All-Stars, replacing Scott Barlow, who pitched very well. Nuno, I have a feeling we're going to see some sliders here, Joe McGrain.
Yeah, that is his pitch.
But yeah, you mentioned Yadi Molina. Listen, after 2 games, Yuki Yanagita certainly the front runner to repeat as Japan All-Star Series MVP. But if this series does tilt back toward the MLB All-Stars, that man right there is your front runner. Got a tweet from Kupulau, Hawaii. Yadi with a hashtag Dome Run.
Yeah, both of the managers after last night's game talked about even momentum in the first inning. What the MLB All-Stars couldn't do, what the Japanese All-Stars could do, and Yadi knows with Vidal Nuno in there how important it is to get his team back to swinging the bats and keeping the pressure on and having an important shutdown inning as the lineup has flipped over again.
Kikuchi on first base. Akiyama, the leadoff batter. Akiyama has been good thus far in the series, particularly the first 2 games. 0 for 2 today.
Nuno throws almost 67% sliders, so you're right, a lot of slide balls.
A lot of energy. I'm just enjoying listening and soaking up the atmosphere at the Tokyo Dome as they're trying to spur on a rally. Nuno's trying to avoid one. Gets Akiyama, who struck out now in back-to-back plate appearances.
That really is kind of a hybrid between a cutter and a slider. It's not the bigger breaking type traditional slider. It's got a little bit more velocity to it. I'm not saying fastball spin, but not the typical slider spin. It's a little closer to a cutter.
This was earlier in the inning, earlier in the game, for Sosuke Genda. 25-year-old Cebu Lion. First pitch from Nuno fools him with the first strike.
Well, you can tell by that swing, you would think when the Japanese hitters swing through and they look late on a lot of pitches, but because you see that early body movement where they're kind of just, you know, bailing and wailing, opening up the front side and dragging the barrel through, trying to make contact.
Contact made by Genda, but easily trackable for Ronald Acuna Jr. in center field. It remains 5-1. We're through 5 in the Tokyo Dome.
Well, good things happen when you put pressure on the defense. For everything the Japanese All-Stars were doing well in Game 2, they have not been able to do in Game 3. Whit Merrifield, a bunt of all things, not a lost start, a single and an error to score Mitch Haniger, and a home run by Yadi Molina. The MLB All-Stars are in command.
And here's Haniger to start off the 6th inning. Team MLB sent 9 batters to the plate in the 5th. And you're right, it was the opposite of what we talked about in the open, how at the beginning of the series, the first 2 games, it was a total exhibition for侍Japan, just in terms of fundamental baseball, situational baseball, and that was not the case for the MLB All-Stars here in Game 3. The MLB team is doing what we had hoped we would see and kind of turning the tide in that regard.
Yeah, we've watched so many major league games and you don't see a lot of base hit bunting anymore, and one of the reasons why Whit Merrifield led all of baseball in hits this year. And it came at a perfect time because it got the ball into the pitcher's hand, perfectly placed. He runs very well, forced him to make that wild throw. It went as a single and an error, and really just kept the line moving and flipped the lineup over.
And we just seen more juice from the MLB side as well, as Haniger goes down with a swinging strikeout. Another one for Iwasada, a 2nd straight.
Nothing tricky, right in the middle of the plate. And Haniger just swings through it. Little 4-seam ride to that pitch. Mentioned that this pitcher will 2-seam it, 4-seam it.
Kike Hernandez under 1. Easy 2nd out for Samurai Japan.
And you know, Stephen, we were talking right off the top in this game about how the first 2 games have been kind of lackluster for the MLB All-Stars. And I would not be surprised if Donnie Baseball had a little chat with him before, saying, you got to pick it up, pick up the energy a little bit more, and get it going a little bit, because there's been a lot more pep in their step. They've been a lot more focused.
Yeah, definitely focuses. I love that you use that word, because it definitely seems like it's here today.
And now they've settled into just doing what they do well.
As Merrifield waves and misses, and just to provide context, and not excuses in my opinion, but context to what this series is all about. Yes, it is a 6-game exhibition, and keeping with this awesome tradition, the relationship between Major League Baseball and professional baseball in Japan. Samurai Japan is using this as a springboard toward upcoming international competitions like the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo and the World Baseball Classic. It is a totally different standpoint for the MLB All-Stars. They are facing a club that is trying to work and come together as one. This MLB team will not play together again ever, in all likelihood. So it's just a different dynamic in both dugouts.
Well, they're coming over to Tokyo to see the sights, take in the culture, and enjoy the experience, but also they're major league players, thought to be the best players in the world, and there is a lot of pride in that and the way that they've played the first couple of games. I think Donnie's saying, guys, listen, we've been very lethargic the first 2 games, and it's time to pick it up and look like the big leaguers that we are, and so far this is what we've seen.
Merrifield high into the air and out of play. And it was a similar start to 2018's Japan All-Star Series that we saw in 2014, when Japan won the first 3 games, the last of which, Game 3, a combined no-hitter. 4 pitchers. Takahiro Norimoto had 5 perfect innings as the starter, then gave way to Yuki Nishi, Kazuhisa Makita, and Yuji Nishino to finish off a no-hit shutout victory that clinched the series against the MLB All-Stars. And they were down 3-0, and then the next 2 games, hey guys, let's wake up here, and they did win the last 2. So that is why we were keeping a close eye on the start for the MLB All-Stars here in this Game 3.
No, you look up and down the lineup of the MLB All-Stars. They're too good a team, too talented of a team that has Yadier Molina behind the plate, who on both sides of the ball in these first 3 games has been their best player, clearly. And you've got 2 would-be Rookie of the Year candidates in Soto and Acuna playing in the outfield.
Whit Merrifield, he knows how to hit the baseball, folks. MLB fans and Kansas City Royals fans know that very well.
That's why they call him two-hit Whit in Kansas City. They're seemingly getting 2 hits, at least 2 hits every night. Mentioned earlier, leading all of baseball in hits, and now that he's on first with 2 outs, he also led the league in stolen bases. So let's see if he tries to get aggressive here and get into scoring position. I would think maybe not the way Realmuto has been swinging the bat, the opposite way.
This was earlier in the 4th inning. Home run opened the scoring. Gave the MLB All-Stars a 1-0 lead. Now a 5-1 edge in the top of the 6th inning. 9-inning games, no extras. Games can end in ties, no mercy rules. And there are pitch limits. Different baseballs in play as well. Samurai Japan on the mound in the field. We'll use the WBSC, World Baseball Softball Commission baseballs, ones that will be in use for international competition, and the MLB All-Stars in the field and on the mound using their regulation MLB baseballs. Got a lot of questions about that over the last couple of games.
Well, you know what's been kind of unique, Stephen, is a lot of the Japanese pitchers that have come over and pitched in the major leagues have noticed a difference in the ball, that it feels a little bit bigger. It's not as tacky. The seams are different, but it has not mattered in the first 2 games when the Japanese hitters are hitting that major league ball, because they've been tattooing it. Raining a lot of hits. The WBC baseball a little closer to the Japanese ball, a little naturally a little more tacky. Pronounced seams. The ordinary baseball used in the Japanese league is just something you could take right out of the box.
Here you go, Joe.
Yep. The MPB ball on the left, it's a little bit smaller, pitchers will tell you, and it has a lot tackier finish to it. You have a lot of pitchers that use some type of grip enhancement from time to time over the years, with the Major League Baseball on the far right. And baseball that's currently being used right now with the Japanese All-Stars in the field is the one in the middle, the WBSC baseball.
So thank you to our also MLB Network viewers who tweeted at me about that. ABDC 916, Mark Sheets, Rafael McInnes. Hopefully that explanation kind of gives you an idea of some of the little things, the rules and regulations for this Japan All-Star Series. There was a meeting at the mound for Samurai Japan, probably because this man is up. Yadi Molina had an opportunity to have back-to-back 3-run jacks. Gets under it though. Kikuchi secures the 3rd out of the 6th inning. Through 5.5, it's 5-1 MLB All-Stars.
You know, we said right off the top how important it was to set the tone, and one of the best ways to do it is for the starting pitcher to do it from the hill. Scott Barlow has done that out of the Kansas City Royals. Club had a great breaking ball. You see the intensity, and he really kind of woke the MLB All-Stars up until the bats came alive right after that. But you pitch with that type of quickness, you got good fielding behind him, and then the bats started to come around. And this was a team that had been lethargic in the first 2 games. So nice going, Scott Barlow.
Certainly a tip of the cap to Scotty Barlow, who struck out 4 and 4 1/3, walked 2, 5 hits, just the 1 run allowed for the righty who made his big league debut on April 30th on the road against the eventual World Series champion Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, you see the hitting, you see the extra base hits, you see the stars come to the plate, and sometimes it gets lost in the mix. Is how did we get to this point?
Haniger drifts back and gets Yamada to fly out in right.
And it's really easy as you look at a routine fly ball by Yamada to really set the tone. You always like the pitchers that get that sign quickly, and Yadi has been doing that with Scott Barlow to start the game, and they really needed to come out swinging after the way they had played in the first 2 games, and he was equal to the task. Had a really good breaking ball, but it was more in the tempo and how he controlled and managed the game.
Yuki Yanagita, he's always trouble at the plate. Well, Juan Soto, you've seen him go to his right to make a running catch against Yanagita, and there he has to run to his left.
So the game has much more crisp quality to it by the way it started, and now you see with the outfielders and Juan Soto, the guys are starting to relax and really get their sea legs under them a little bit more and just playing to the talents that they have.
Tomoya Mori. Huge swing. Trying to score 4 runs with 1 swing, which by the way is impossible.
And I also think the MLB All-Stars were a little bit woken up after the comments or questions to the manager, Don Mattingly. Hey, are you guys just here on a holiday to take in the sights and everything? And the players took it personally, and so far the way that they have played tonight, it looks like they've responded.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that can really turn the switch on for a professional athlete, trigger that pride and competitiveness.
Yeah, don't challenge a big leaguer's ego.
Here's the 2-2 from Nuno. It's Mori. 1-2-3 inning for the Rays lefty. Carlos Santana, Acuna Jr., and Juan Soto due up next.
9 a.m. Eastern.
Stay outfitted this offseason in official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, jackets, and more. Find all the baseball gear you need all year long at MLBshop.com. They also have侍Japan, NPB memorabilia as well. Got some questions on Twitter asking about that. Again, if you do have anything you want to ask about this Japan All-Star Series, you can send them my way. It's Steven Nelson. New pitcher on the mound, Kakeru Narita, the lefty we saw earlier in this series, Joe McGrain.
Yeah, I love that scouting report. A fierce competitor. I normally say that about guys that are under 6 feet tall. They've got that little Tasmanian devil quality about them.
Real gritty.
Yeah.
And he's facing Carlos Santana. The last time that happened in Game 1.
Look at that.
Santana showed up and took him out.
Where the rosin went from the pitcher's hand to the baseball to the barrel of the bat of Santana. That was really a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that was one of the cool images of Game 1 of this series for sure. And it looked like the MLB All-Stars were going to be off and running toward a victory. It made it 4-1. Bottom half of that inning, Samurai Japan, Shogo Akiyama cleared the bases, tied it up with a 3-run double. Then Juan Soto was like, well, all right, I'm going to go deep, give us the lead again, 6-4. And all that did was set the stage for Yuki Yanagita for his sayonara home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 3-0 to Santana. He was taken all the way in there for a strike.
Hey, we talked about Narita, the little lefty, having that fierce competitive ability, and the manager of Japan was questioned about using him in this situation. Well, foul over the netting, the protected netting here at the Tokyo Dome. But he wanted to really give him experience, see what he's made of.
Yep.
And you'd already mentioned it, Steven. He got touched or torched by Santana in that situation. But this is about the Olympics in 2020, WBC in 2021. He has not had a lot of experience at all, but Santana looks really comfortable against him. Little lefty coming in there, and that's the same kind of area where he hit the 3-run home run off him in Game 1.
Santana splits better against left-handers in the big leagues. Paid things off. He fouls it off again. But you mentioned the strategy for Atsunori Inaba and Samurai Japan, the national team. I love that. Hey, these kids are going to be in the fire on bigger stages in 2020, 2021.
I was going to say
expose them
exactly
now.
the same thing. Throw them into the fire, see what they're made of.
Yep.
And here's a chance to. Santana's having great swings against him. Really good swings.
Slamtana. Not this time.
And he just missed that one, but he had a lot of on-time swings.
Yes, he did. Here's Ronald Acuna Jr. And his 2018 campaign just called up and did not look back. His ranks among rookies in the National League, top 3 in everyone.
And you know what I really liked about it in the argument, because the statistics are so close between Acuna and Soto. This is a guy that just really took over in the second half of the season out of the leadoff spot. They won the division, and he was a big part of it. A lot of leadoff home runs, and when you're on the scoreboard first, and the jolt that gives you, you know, start that game off with a bomb and be in the lead. It is so important. In fact, statistically, the team that scores first in the major leagues wins a little bit over 60% of the game. So he's enhancing their chances to win ball games as well.
We have a battle of 20-year-olds here in Narita and Acuna Jr. The 2-0 to Ronald. Lays the bat out there. Kikuchi snags it out of the air. So will Ronald Acuna Jr. be the Rookie of the Year, or will it be Juan Soto? His rookie season in 2018, comparing that to what we saw out of Bryce Harper in 2012.
I'm just trying to digest all of this.
Take it all in.
Yeah.
We're 19 years old during their rookie campaigns.
Says a lot about Soto.
Oh, no doubt. Those home runs, a National League single season record for a teenager. So both these guys finalists for the award that will be announced on Monday on MLB Network. Walker Buehler, the third Rookie of the Year candidate. Just a stud for the LA Dodgers. Juan Soto turns around on one. That one hops off the wall. He'll run into second, slide in with a 2-out double.
Well, we've seen the opposite field home runs, the opposite field power that Soto has, and then you see going up lefty, and then he's just turning and burning there. Just a guy who just has not only incredible talent, but just really good hitting IQ for a guy his age. And there's his counterpart for the Rookie of the Year, Acuna, cheering him on. And these guys have had a blast together, and they're having a blast tonight.
Can I put you on the hot seat and ask who you'd give the hardware to?
I thought I just told you.
Oh.
I thought I was making like an up with Acuna. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Spell my last name with an L. I'll take the L there, Joe McGrain. I'm okay. I ain't afraid to wear one. Hey, Eugenio Suarez up there now.
No, but if I was a little bit better, I just would have continued the argument, because we're having a conversation about it. And really, I was going to make the point on the previous hitter that, you know, you could be blindfolded and throw darts, and which either name it landed on, Acuna or Soto, over the next 10 years, you would take. Acuna plays with like a little bit more flair, and Soto seems to have just not only that ability, but that incredible baseball acumen.
Eugenio Suarez. Uebayashi can't secure the grab, so Soto will come in from second. Suarez, look at the hustle.
That's more like it. They were out hustled in game 1 and game 2, and in game 3 they are bringing home the mail.
That's huge for Eugenio Suarez, who entered the AB 0 for 7 in this series. So his first hit, a run producing one.
That does not look like a bunch in the dugout that was just here to see the sights and take a holiday vacation.
So here's Mitch Haniger. Yeah, this has been a well-played game for the MLB All-Stars up to this point in all facets.
They look like they should look like now.
Yep. One on to Haniger, misses high. You know, I was speaking earlier about the different dynamics for these two clubs, Samurai Japan, the national team, and we keep describing what they're working toward in terms of international competition preparation and comparing that to the MLB All-Stars. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for what we saw and didn't see out of the MLB team in the first 2 games. We certainly give most of the credit to what's in the dugout for Atsunori Inaba and Samurai Japan. I mean, they've showed up, delivered, played consistently, relentlessly. So it just shows how good the quality of professional player there is in Japan.
Very well said, Stephen, but I think there's more talent, and clearly more talent in the MLB dugout. But the one thing that should show up when you're ready to play is effort and intensity, and I don't think we saw that out of the MLB All-Stars the first 2 games, although we've seen just a complete flipping of the switch, completely different here in game 3. You know, Yogi Berra famous for saying you can't think and hit at the same time. But one thing that should be there is the energy and effort, and then those natural abilities start to come through. And that's where we are today.
What's the old saying? Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Is that sort of what you're getting at?
Yeah, that's good.
3-2. Haniger with a rocket back up the chute. Eugenio Suarez going to challenge Yanagita's arm. He'll come in safely. Haniger is safe as the ball is jarred out of the glove of Kikuchi. So another run on the board for the MLB All-Stars, and another mini slump busted. First it was Suarez, and now Mitch Haniger.
And I think Inaba finding out about the experience of Narita in this inning. Watch Haniger just climb the ladder, literally go up a few stairs, a few rungs, take a pitch up in his eyes and drive it into center field. Really didn't need to go to second base.
No.
Suarez was going to be scoring easily there.
No, but this continues to show the difference for MLB in Game 3 compared to the first two. Just being aggressive, continuing to push the limits. Yeah, you meant, yeah, the talent level. It's an international team from the best league in the world, Major League Baseball, and that's something that Joseph A. referenced on Twitter. They should be better. But again, the way that the series has gone up to this point is just a testament to Samurai Japan. Here's Kike Hernandez with the runner on second, 2 out in the top of the 7th. Kike swings and misses. So this is just more growing pains, constructive growing pains for Narita.
And in this type of a ball game, we're talking about how young that he is, and Inaba using him in this situation as the All-Stars, the MLB start to pull away a little bit, giving him a little more international experience.
Hey Joe, who's your pick for Rookie of the Year again in the National League?
It was Soto, maybe.
He's Joe McGray and Steven Nelson here. Game 3 of the Japan All-Star Series. Pitch to Kike Hernandez, misses inside and low. Got some. I got a.
If the numbers are real close like they are,
yeah,
and the second half of the season, based on what Acuna was able to do the second half of the season out of the leadoff spot, which is, it has the the first 4 letters in it, and the leadership out of the leadoff spot that he provided had a lot to do with them winning the division. I think that puts him over the top right here.
The 7th is over, but they're feeling it. The MLB All-Stars leading by 6.
Chevy dealer.
We welcome you back to MLB Network's special coverage of the 2018 Japan All-Star Series. With Joe McGrain, I'm Stephen Elson. This is the third game of a 6-game series between Samurai Japan, Japan's national baseball team, and the MLB All-Stars. Vidal Nuno still on the bump for Team MLB. And again, Joe, because you're not on Twitter, I'm taking everybody's tweets for you at Stephen Elson.
Taking the body blows for
That's right.
me.
That's right. I'm the tip of the sword. But the viewers on MLB Network have been great all over the world. I mean, the Philippines, Australia, Israel, all over the States, Hawaii, in Japan. And there was one particular tweet today that stood out to me as Nuno, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and a quick first out. And I hope you won't mind if...
Well, let me have it.
All right, so this came from Robert Hamilton, Hamilton's dad, 03. July 4th, 1989, it was a hot St. Louis night. He was on a date and with a woman who had a son. Their first game.
Was I on a date with Fernando Valenzuela?
No, you can't cut the tweet off, Joe. That's not how this game works.
I'm telling you, that's my pitching memory, because I remember that. I'll tell you. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to finish the story real quick. They said, the woman and son, that baseball is boring. I said, no, it's not. Let's go. Joe pitches a 2-1 win, complete game, 5-hitter, all 3 runs scored in the first inning. We never went to another game. That was against the Dodgers and Fernando Valenzuela. Now you tell that story from your perspective.
So it was one of those, I think, 5 o'clock starts, and it was a 2-hit shutout, and beat Fernando 2-0, and through 86, 87 pitches, and the game was over in 2 hours. And so they had to hold the Busch Stadium sellout crowd by showing, Cardinal history, and of course there was a lot of it on the scoreboard for an hour, because it had not got dark yet to shoot the fireworks off on July 4th. And that's what I remember about the game, because I had talked to the media and everything, and had a shower, and most of us in our families were sitting in the dugout. We were waiting around like everyone else for the fireworks to start.
Yeah, you were the pre-show, Joe McGrain.
Fernando and I hooked up, and we both like to work fast, and it was always an honor to be able to pitch against him. Was lucky enough to get the better of him. But I think the July 4th Cardinal fans at Busch Stadium were getting a little impatient.
The flower from Uebayashi to away.
Never forget that.
Do you remember how many pitches you threw?
I want to say it was either 86 or 89.
88.
All right.
88 pitches, according to Chris Finetti, our ace researcher. So again,
I might have to get one of those Twitter burner accounts or something,
So you're up on the lingo.
Yeah.
Okamoto chops one back, charging his Witt, and the throw slips out of his hands. So Okamoto reaches. Witt apologizes to Nuno for that one.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, just having a laugh. Whit Merrifield, a veteran of sports Grand Prix top athletes, a game show in Japan, went over there without.
Oh, I can see it was off the end of the bat, so if you saw that when it hit the turf, it had some real funny English to it, where on that second bounce just twisted the other way, and there's nothing like the international language about one tag is not enough.
That's good stuff. It's been fun to see the interactions between these two teams. Again, some of the best in Japan, some of the best from the major leagues getting together and sharing this baseball brotherhood. So Kikuchi, last of the order. And the last of the bottom of the 7th inning. The deficit remains 6 for侍Japan. Whit Merrifield's going to lead things off for us in the 8th. All right, Whit, we're going to go back to one of your finest moments as a pro athlete. You went overseas to Japan to participate in Sports Grand Prix. Top athletes, he knew nothing about it, hardly anything about it when he committed to go over. Basically, you got a platform with a mat, a volleyball suspended in the air. You stand by a stand with a button on it. When you hit the button, the ball drops, and you have to touch the ball before it hits the mat at varying distances. Also competing in that competition. That's redundant. Another competitor, Justin Gatlin, a sprinter, and Merrifield finished second. Lost to a player on the Japanese national soccer team, but Whit jokes, I beat Justin Gatlin, so I'm the fastest player on the planet, clearly.
Oh, that's awesome. He's a tremendous athlete and a late bloomer. And you know, a lot of the talk has been in Kansas City for Dayton Moore. Should he or should he not trade Whit Merrifield? He has very favorable club control. It's part of their rebuild. They expect their core and everyone to reload around 2021. And Whit, at 29 years of age, may be at his highest value now. And maybe, so you can see where there is that conundrum of maybe try to add some younger prospects by moving it, because there are a lot of teams that are interested, and it's easy to see by the type of player that he is and what he's already accomplished and what he could do in a lineup and play a multitude of positions. He is a younger, peppier version of Ben Zobrist.
4 more years of club control for Merrifield, so that's another factor to weigh. And another one of the former South Carolina Gamecocks who had a notable 2018 campaign, Jackie Bradley Jr., Steve Pierce, the others, won World Series with the Sox. Steve Pierce, World Series MVP. Broken bat. A little soft liner to short for Whit Merrifield here in the 8th.
It's just a real neat story about Merrifield, because he was a guy that was not in the Royals' plans, and that's why it took him so long to get to the major leagues. He always had to just beat out the other guys that had been drafted ahead of him or that the organization valued more, and he just through perseverance kept grinding away, and now is a real guy in the major leagues.
JT Realmuto has ascended to guy dude status in MLB. Swings it. Pitch grounds out to short. So a lot of action here in the 8th for Sosuke Genda. So we have Yuhei Takanashi, which is for the Golden Eagles in NPBs. The arm you're watching now for Samurai Japan. The 4th pitcher of the game for Atsunori Inaba's club. And you know, we've talked about some of the moves, the aggressive, the tough calls, gambles that Inaba has made at the helm for Samurai Japan. And we got a question from Hein inside. Do you think a major league team would ever consider hiring a Japanese manager as their manager? We've seen it done the other way around. I think of Bobby Valentine is probably the first name that comes to mind, who's gone over and had success in NPB. Seen it in the NBA.
I would say I wouldn't say through lack of ability, but I would say no, because there are just too many other choices organizationally between all 30 teams and especially
and systems
and all of that, and especially the way the managerial position is being looked at in this day and age in Major League Baseball as one of a collaborative guy with the front office and not just one of the Lou Piniella type of managers.
Yeah, no,
Buck Showalter, I think, except in the unique circumstances, the days of the big high profile manager are kind of going by way of the hula hoop.
Yeah, just with the games evolved in the major leagues for sure. Yadi Molina getting another peek at his 3-run homer back in the 5th inning. That broke a 1-1 tie. And we All-Stars have tacked on more runs since then. And this is inside 2-2. You will certainly see managerial candidates in the big leagues who have playing experience in NPB. We've talked multiple times already during this trip for the MLB All-Stars about Bam Bam Mullins.
Yep.
He played professionally in Japan. That one just misses.
That's called catcher's courtesy. I've seen that happen so many times. I've been the victim of it as a pitcher out there on the hill. But when a catcher's up at the plate, he tends to get every close call, because not only is it that relationship with the home plate umpire, is that he doesn't want that, except that one's down the middle. You see Yadi even run himself up on that one.
Yes, he did. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Samurai Japan going to try and start another comeback in the Japan All-Star Series. Stephen Nelson and Joe McGrain with you, looking at Samurai Japan, some of the best in Nippon professional baseball, and one of the big names in NPB not on this roster because he's getting ready to come over to the big leagues. Yusei Kikuchi in the Seibu Lions, and this is the current posting system. It's evolved over the years, Joe.
Yeah, it certainly has, and it's a shorter window of time. Of course, many would remember because it happened just this past season about what Shohei Ohtani did in his posting bid of $20 million, and he himself, if he would have waited a couple more years, would have really fattened his pocketbook. But he can wait to play Major League Baseball, signed on a minor league deal. All of these other ones are MLB lucrative contracts.
Yeah. We got a good question from Sean Moazami on Twitter. He said, Stephen Nelson, you get to take one player from Japan to the major leagues. Who would that be? So I'm taking the posting system out, Joe. Just anybody that you're seeing here in the Japan All-Star Series. And
Yuki Yaganita.
Okay. Well,
did I steal your thunder there?
No thunder stolen. But just it was even quicker than I thought it was going to be, as Shogo Akiyama, who's had an outstanding series as well, starts off the 8th with a knock. Yeah, Yuki Yanagita, who is in the hole right now for Samurai Japan, has wrecked shop thus far in this Japan All-Star Series. But it's true, the posting system, has skewed more towards pitchers.
Right.
New pitcher on the mound for the MLB All-Stars as well, and Chris Martin, the big righty from the Texas Rangers, who we saw in the exhibition game against the Yomiuri Giants. And Martin, a veteran of NPB play.
And Yuki Yaganita, he's a little bit bigger guy, a little stronger, 6'2", around 215 pounds. Is what he's listed as. Power, good bat-to-ball skills. Someone who I think that could translate into the current state of the game in the major leagues now, where it's about 3 miles an hour faster from a velocity standpoint than the NPB.
Just taking a peek at the pinch runner for Samurai Japan, Kosuke Tanaka, who's come on for Akiyama. So Atsunori Inaba, well, he's already shown that he's not afraid to pinch hit for key players at the top of the order. Pinch run, substitute, does it here in the 8th, trying to spark something. Chris Martin strikes out Sosuke Genda. So that'll give way to the player that some people call the Japanese Mike Trout, Tetsuro Yamada, with Yuki Yanagita on deck. Martin pitched for the Nippon Ham Fighters in the NPB from 2016 to 2017, was an all-star in 2016.
Yeah, here's a tandem of a couple of good hitters, and if I said Yanagita would be my pick as a most likely guy, and with his talent to post, Yamada has very similar skills from the right side.
26-year-old, 5-tool talent, chops one over to Kike, who slips Can't turn two, but hope Kike's all right. Turf Monster got him there. Got the lead runner.
Wonder if he was wearing a different kind of spikes, like the not like the metal spikes, but I don't think that would have mattered.
Yeah. The kicks on Kike today.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana is just loving on everybody who comes over to first base. It's awesome. You know who else is awesome? Yuki Yanagita. 1 for 3 today. Single and a run scored. Don Mattingly can probably breathe a little bit easier knowing that one swing of the bat from Yanagita can't end the ball game here like in game 3 like it did in game 1.
The other thing I like not only about the talents of Yanagita is I think he's got a flair. He's a showman too. You know, he can bring the entertainment.
And that's a conversation you and I have had before,
right?
With regards to big league players, these guys are entertainers. Fans are coming to ballparks to watch them not only play, but to see their personality, get to know them, and that's something that baseball is continuing to improve at, I think, showcasing those.
Well, I think that's still what, you know, resonates. I know it was with me when I was a young fan. It was about, you know, favorite players, the faces of players, their personalities on the field, you know, the style and the way that they played.
Yanni was like, "Wait, you serious? That's not a strike?
Come on, I'm making you look good."
Gosh, let's just soak in the scene here. Let's talk it down.
That was a very quick soak.
Yuki Yanagita rolls over. A bouncer to Merrifield. Ends the 8th inning. It's still 7-1. MLB All-Stars leading Samurai Japan here on MLB Network. Listen, we are enjoying November baseball here on MLB Network. When you're missing baseball, though, this offseason, look no further than social media. Just follow @MLB on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter has been a huge part of our MLB Network special presentation of this 2018 Japan All-Star Series because it's given us an opportunity, us being Joe McGrain and Steven Nelson here, to interact with you. There's Kenta Maeda.
Trying to get him to go out there and tip the cap.
His MLB All-Star teammates know how big a deal he is in this Japan All-Star Series. We have yet to see him pitch because these first 3 games have been played in the Tokyo Dome. But when Kenta was pitching in NPB, he pitched for Hiroshima. And that is where the series will resume on Tuesday.
Right. I think we're going to see him, you know, in short order. And guys are feeling good in the dugout. And they're saying, hey, are you even on this team? How come you're not out there? And I think that's having some fun. And you can see they're really enjoying that.
Gosh, when
soaking in the atmosphere,
right.
as it were.
When he met with the media, just a mind-blowing crowd scrum. And that's the, I mean, Dodger fans know that well, even on days where Kenta isn't pitching. Still, the media presence at Dodger Stadium and Chavez Ravine is substantial. Just a huge deal. Any player who comes over from MPB to the big leagues in Japan takes immense pride in. And it's a ground out from Santana. Let's go back to 2014, the Japan All-Star Series, and there is Kenta Maeda wearing the Samurai Japan uniform and pitching against his future Dodger teammate, striking him out, Yasiel Puig, Alcides Escobar, Ben Zobrist. And now he'll try to do the same thing, but representing the major leagues.
Oh, those pitches were nasty there, those splitters.
Kenta's Dodgers beat Ronald Acuna Jr.'s Braves in the National League Division Series in 2018. But Acuna certainly had one of the big moments of that one, his grand slam off Walker Buehler. One right down the chute from Akitake Okada. Righty who currently pitches for the Hiroshima Carp, Kenta's former team. The 0-2 tries to get Acuna Jr. to chase. He does not.
You see a lot of upside there. You say unfinished product. He has a very high ceiling, and there's pretty close to a finished product in Kenta Maeda. Wily veteran. Did a beautiful job filling in at the injury to Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, he's just been huge for Dave Roberts as that one bounces away from Okada. And talking about an all-Japan MLB team in terms of the pitching staff, Kenta certainly has a role on it.
One of the underrated ones over there at the top of the column on the right in the bullpen, Kaz Sasaki, who had a great run with the Mariners. He was on that team that won 116 games.
Okada gets Acuna. There's good velo on the four-seamer. A lot of the Samurai Japan pitching staff, velocity is not their strength. It's location and deceptiveness. But Okada seems to have some stuff in the tank.
Yeah, that had some real good finish, good riding fastball. And when you say unfinished product, it's still developing, still learning how to pitch. It should be a pretty interesting challenge here for him going up against Juan Soto.
Yeah, we got a little bit of power versus power, and there's just a different energy and feel to Juan Soto in this one. I know he's homered in the first 2 games of the series, and really he did homer in a 3rd straight game, but hit the roof, so he was called out. But he has just had a little bit more swagger, I guess, if that was even possible for him here in Game 3.
Well, you're right, Steven. You're talking about the kind of the sneaky fastball, the sneaky velocity kind of gets on you a little bit. That ball was by Juan Soto. It was right in the middle of the plate, normally in his wheelhouse. And a little tardy still.
Yeah, so this is just a different situation for the MLB All-Star lineup. So they're going to have to adjust.
Yeah, you could have two different pitchers throwing exactly the same velocity, but the delivery would be different, and to the hitter, and not knowing what the gun reading would be. I could say one guy throws 96 and one guy throws 93 just by the deception in their delivery and how Okada throws, to where it seems to get on the hitter in a hurry.
Two balls, two strikes, 2 outs in the ninth for Juan Soto. So I said that Soto really homered in 3 straight. The box score won't reflect that, and here's why. This was earlier in the ball game, and would have been a 3-run homer. It was well on its way. He thought it, he knew it off the bat, but then it hits the roof, comes right down, right in front of the warning track. And the rules in the Tokyo Dome state, Joe, that if it hits the roof in fair territory, it's in play.
Yeah, that was a pretty good illustration. With the ball coming straight down, you knew that was going to be very deep in the seats had it not hit the roof.
That one probably got close to the roof in Tokyo Dome. Instead, just an F7. Last 3 outs for Samurai Japan coming up next.
MLB Network.
Just a reminder that this Japan All-Star Series is not over. This is Game 3. Here's what's on tap for Games 4, 5, and 6. After a travel day on Monday, we'll pick things back up on Tuesday from Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium in Hiroshima, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We go live, and the games will re-air at 8 p.m. Eastern. And again, if you join live, you can join in the conversation on Twitter. Thanks to Dr. Miraculous. Shane joining from Alabama. Says second baseman Ryosuke Kikuchi is one of his favorites to watch. Slick defender and excellent hitter too. No doubt we've seen that in the series. Jake saying the late night crew checking in a game. The last one he'll be able to watch live, back to real life after the weekend, but enjoy the rest of the series. Thank you, Jake. Pop and Ping. Pink Strasburg or Starburst P. Thanks, Morning Boys, for some live baseball. John Bribia. Get the ball. It looks like he trimmed the beard.
Yeah.
Breaking good news. I mean, that is either that or one of his teammates got him on one side and he just felt the need to even it out. That is still a unique look for John Bribia.
Yeah, when we saw him pitch the last time, he had a Tom Hanks and Castaway type beard, and now it looks like he's been rescued and he's trimmed it up a bit. Still out of curiosity, was just wondering what his passport photo looks like. Somewhere in between, coming into another country, and he brought his fastball with him, the high gas.
That one gets Tomoya Mori. Shuta Tonosaki of the Seibu Lions will dig in here with Samurai Japan down by 6. Brendan Riley, BW Riley 12, tweeting at us. Thank you, MLB Network, and Stephen Nelson, Joe McGrain, for making this overnight shift a little more exciting with the Japan All-Star Series broadcast. Thank you, Brendan. Thank all of you guys watching along. It's made it fun for our entire crew, being able to interact with you guys and answer some of your questions. Can you grow that kind of beard, Joe McGrain?
Not even if I was on a deserted island.
Here's the 2-0. Oof, good hook. Yeah, my dad's got a good stash, and I try to do the facial hair thing. It's just too patchy. Yeah. It's not a good look. It's dirty. It's disgusting. Tonosaki just giving up on that one. Count now 2-2.
He was looking for the heater.
So this is the side-by-side. When we saw John Brebbia pitch in the exhibition against Yomiuri, and then now clean.
That almost, that almost looks like a father and son effect type there. It looks like he got younger.
I don't even know you anymore, John Brebbia.
There's the atmosphere you were looking for, Stephen.
Right. Again, it's the bottom of the 9th. Samurai Japan's down by 6. And look, I mean,
hoping for that big inning.
Yeah. Doesn't stop. Before first pitch to the end of the game, which we're getting closer and closer to, with John Brebbia. And another strikeout.
Gets him with a backdoor slider. Of course, this battery knows each other very well. Yadi Molina and Brebbia.
Looks like Otaka Yamakawa is going to get ready to pinch hit. But right now it's Seiji Uebayashi who has the task of trying to keep the inning going and the game going for Samurai Japan. Brebbia's 0-1, lined into right field. One hops to Haniger, so a runner aboard for Yamakawa. Carlos Santana. He just wants to play.
He's not leaving anybody alone at first base. Helping him with the arm pad there.
So here's Otaka Yamakawa, 47 home runs in 2018 in NPB play. Faced John Brebbia, who, talking about Brebbia's facial hair, he told KMOX radio that he plans to have a little fun with the beard while he's in Japan. Some fun and tacky things, this is a quote, some fun and tacky things to see what shapes I can come up with. So he was getting it ready, growing it out as big as he could, and now he's going to try and trim it up. All right, let's get weird, John Brebbia. I'm with you.
Be interesting to see what that can morph into over the course of the next 3 games.
This Japan All-Star Series has not gone the way Yamakawa has planned up to this point, but every new plate appearance is a new opportunity, right, Joe?
That's right.
.30. Had the green light. Just missed it with the big sleeves.
Yeah, just trying to give Yamakawa some comfort at the plate. He's been kind of caught in between, a little uncomfortable. This is more of an at-bat to just help to try to get his timing down, find that power stroke, rolling into the next game with an off day, travel day.
Brebbia battling back like it was a Civil War campaign that he looks like he just fought. Oh, it's 3-2 to Yamakawa. Down to the final strike is Samurai Japan. Yamakawa gets under one, lifts it, spinning back, and off the netting. You know, that was a question we had earlier. We saw the ball hit foul, and then it looked like the fan had to give the ball back. Well, Jack T. Bowers says on Twitter, at baseball games in Japan, you can keep foul and home run balls during the game, but not during BP. When you get one, the guards always come to check and make sure that you're okay. This is what was happening at that point in the game. So thank you, Jack, for that tweet. So we'll try one more payoff pitch from John Brebbia. Yamakawa barrels it up off the wall in right center field. A run will score, and maybe that is the AB that gets the slugger going for now. All we know is that we'll see one more batter.
Well, sometimes it just takes one, because it really is, when you're not swinging well, it's a loss of confidence, and you can just kind of see the different expression that he feels a lot better about himself. He put a lot of those punch outs and, getting caught in between at bats behind you. He was able to work the count out full.
That
wasn't pull conscious, and just knocked that Tokyo Dome wall back a few feet.
I'm sorry, Joe, didn't mean to step on your toes
No,
there. I
not
was just
at
saying
all.
that was a much simpler swing than what we've seen in the previous ABs from Yamakawa.
Where he was trying to hit it 9 miles.
Yeah. So he's now on second for Ryosuke Kikuchi. He swings at the first pitch. That ball gets down and gets to the wall and left. Yamakawa is going to score. It's a 4-run ball game, and Kikuchi stands in scoring position.
Let's go finish the game. It's been a very good one to this point. Yamakawa really enjoying that outstanding at bat. Kikuchi keeping it going, but Don Mattingly would like to see the MLB All-Stars wrap it up without any more drama.
That is something that Atsunori Inaba has talked openly about, that all he wants to see from his team is that they battle every out all the way through the final out. And that was evidenced by a play we showed you at the top of this broadcast. Game 2. It was 12-6 in the 9th. Sosuke Genda hustling out an infield single. So now it's Kosuke Tanaka.
I mean, look at this activity. This is not it's not the wave. It's
better than the wave.
Yeah, it's much better.
Hideki Matsui knows what it's like to bask in those chants at the Tokyo Dome. Longtime Yomiuri Giant jumping out of his seat in the MLB All-Star dugout. So Tanaka was in the leadoff spot where Shogo Akiyama had started the game. Takes the third ball of the AB. It was 2 quick outs for John Brebbia, and then a single from Uebayashi. Back-to-back RBI doubles.
He just kind of had a loss of concentration and falling behind the hitters.
Tanaka chops over to Whit Merrifield, who bites the dust but gets the ball to Carlos Santana. Whit Merrifield is safe, Tanaka is not, and that ends the ball game. But Inaba's club showing some fight in the bottom of the 9th inning. Both teams will come out onto the field, one celebrating a victory, one saluting its effort and the fans at the Tokyo Dome.
Don Mattingly really has to feel a lot better about the way his team came out tonight. They were questioned about their effort in the first 2 games, and that was not the case tonight. They played with tremendous energy, and I thought the way they started really led to them getting into the talents of their at-bats. You saw them break out the thunder sticks, and they'll be ready to go after this travel day.
Players of the game for the MLB All-Stars, you certainly have to include Scott Barlow, who started the game, went 4 1/3, gave just 1 run, struck out 4. And then you mentioned the thunder sticks. JT Realmuto going yard, as did Yadi Molina. Yadi's broke a tie and put the MLB All-Stars ahead for good. We have ourselves a series. It's now 2-1 in favor of Samurai Japan. Both teams off on Monday. They'll travel to Hiroshima. Well, we will resume from Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium on Tuesday, 4:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. For Joe McGrain and our crew, I'm Stephen Elson, saluting you and thanking you for watching MLB Network's special coverage of the 2018 Japan All-Star Series.
We hope that you enjoyed this Japan All-Star Series game. We now join the following MLB Network programming already in progress.
Getting hot at the right time. I mean, it just seemed like Alex Cora pulled all the right moves, but the guys knew their role. They weren't shocked by anything. They came off the bench. They had great ABs. It was awesome.
That's game plan. You game plan against the big star.
Yeah.
Remember they were calling Dave Winfield Mr. May? And then he went out to Toronto and he had a supporting cast and he became a superstar that he is in the World Series. But those are the guys you game plan against. I'm not letting Mookie Betts beat me.
Mookie ain't beat me.
I'm not letting JD beat me. So the other guys have to step up.
The big word from Cora, balance. When you have all those pieces together and good balance.
One of the biggest worries for the Red Sox going into the postseason became one of their greatest strengths. When we come back, we'll lock in on some guys who locked it down out of the pen for Boston.
Whoa, I'm sorry, guys. When you throw 100 miles an hour and then you drop that on me, I'm Max Muncy saying, what?